Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 4 of Sarge Presents Pauperocalypse. We got Garrett Anderson Lynn on Spy Combo at the top and Brian Markeski on Jund Wildfire in the bottom. Rob, what do you think we're going to see this match?
Well, I'm hoping to see Jund Wildfire kind of take more of the control route. I know a pretty popular combo is to target your own lands with Wildfire, but I would like to see him take more of the Ponza route and kind of take Garrett off of some meta, as well as controlling the board state from there.
Yeah, it is interesting. This Spy Combo deck can kind of play a slower, more plotting game plan, gumming up the board and just eventually winning the game through either a combo kill or just simply swinging the air with some threats or some big ents.
Yeah, I know with the Wildfire deck, it is a thing to target your own lands in order to ramp, but I would actually like to see Brian kind of targeting Garrett more as like a land destruction deck, kind of keep him off mana, especially black.
That would be interesting. I guess it would be dependent on whether or not the spy deck would have access to enough non-land mana sources. Possibly filtering Garrett out of his lands could potentially enable his combo quicker. But in the right circumstance, I could see a situation where we could potentially lock out the spy deck.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting for the Wildfire to take that control route, kind of keep Garrett off of his lands. He does come up his board pretty quickly with all his Matadorts, but if you can keep him off a specific color and he can cast Spy, that's beneficial for the Wildfire deck.
For sure. All right. Looks like Garrett's going to lead us off. Little bump of the camera there. Going to be playing a gate, I believe, Gatekeeper Creeper Bind, getting a basic forest from his deck.
That is a Gatekeeper Vine.
And it looks like Brian just played a tap land for his turn. Indestructible artifact land. Perfect target for that Wildfire.
It would be interesting to see if Brian does take that control land destruction route or if he's just going to do the ramp.
It's interesting. Garrett seems to be the one doing the ramping right now. Elves of D Shadow coming down. Oh, but we're seeing Brian casting an Ichor Wellspring. Another good value piece. Oh, end of turn, cycling the Ent. Getting a forest, I imagine. I don't think there's any other targets for something like that. Yep, there we go. All right, Garrett's going to draw for turn. Ooh, Mass Vandal going after the land. Speaking of land destruction here, Rob, that's probably not what we were expecting to see how this game was going to play out. With Spy taking the position of, stone raining the opponent. But, I mean, Mass Vandal on an artifact land is certainly a line. And there's the Overgrown Battlements. Brian going to crack his new Evolving Wild style card, MH3 style of fetch that was introduced to the format. Another wall coming down. Overgrown Battlements grows in power. And by power, I mean the ability to tap for mana. Rob, what do you think Brian's hoping to see here?
I think if I'm Brian, ugh, it's so hard because Garrett's already so far ahead on board, and Brian's just behind on mana. I think if I was Brian, I was just pray not to get dread returned at this point. It is of interest to note that Garrett does not have a full graveyard, but I mean, a spy comes down at any point, it's game over.
Yep, and there we go. No spy. Caught some walls, tinder wall in there. Getting in for 2. Looks like the shaman's going to try to come in, taking out the Elves of Deep Shadow and itself. Drawing Brian a card off the Ichor Spring, going to the bin. Generous Ent entering play, making a food token. And Garrett swinging in again. There we go. The namesake.
Let's see what he decides to do with this. Oh, it looks like he's just targeting himself, getting that basic swamp.
Makes sense. Garrett doesn't seem to be threatening the combo.
Yeah, and Bryant was really far behind on lands this game.
Yeah, that Mass Vandal really, really, really put a damper on that game plan. Okay, Garrett coming across the line for 6. Looking to close this game out soon. No combo required. Just some good old green beaters.
Yeah, this spy deck has really impressed me today. It could really just become the beatdown deck, and like it doesn't need the combo.
Yeah, of all the decks playing Spy that I've ever seen in my time of playing Magic, this is definitely one of the ones that has like the most viable like backup game plan. It feels like no
For sure.
Charbelcher to board into, but I mean, do we even need the combo when we have a 5/7 in play? It doesn't look like it. Oh, looks like we're having some big mana. Lawless Troll coming across the line here. Gonna just shoot Brian down for 2. Definitely one of the more underwhelming trolls I've seen, but it still puts Brian dead on board, depending on what Brian could have this turn.
Oh, Lembas is definitely a way to keep himself alive.
But is it enough? Oh, a familiar. Hit and play. Forcing Garrett to discard a card. I think he discarded a land grant, perhaps? I'm not sure if it'll be entirely relevant here. Jump block going to 3. Winding Way. Oh, I see 2 spies. But will it matter? Oh, it looks like Garrett is just gonna go ahead, flip the deck over, and say, "I have a second Lawless Troll. I'm just gonna kill you right now." And Ryan is going, "Okay, well if you're gonna do that, let me take a look at what you got going on." And it looks like we're just gonna move on to game 2. Wow.
He does have access to that information.
Yeah, but now we're post board. And this is the space where I've always known the spy combo deck to really, really shine. Having access to your entire deck after being milled over, it means you can have some pretty crazy sideboard game plans.
Yeah, what do you think about Weather the Storm as a sideboard plan for the Shun Wildfire deck in order to get enough life to get ahead of the Spy combo?
I'm not sure if spy combo would actually cast enough spells in the combo turn to really do anything. If they try to troll you, then, they're probably hitting you for at least 30 damage.
That's a fair point. I was just thinking maybe the Wildfire deck could get ahead with some spells and that 3 life relevant.
It's possible. But again, bringing in a Weather the Storm against the deck, just playing some Ents and some big old trolls, doesn't really do all that much.
I would like to see Bryant draw into his cast downs. We didn't really see much board control the last game.
Seeing a Wildfire cast early this game means that Brian's deck is humming early, and it's getting actually out the gate this time. Perhaps we might see a Mass Vandal come down here off of Tinderwall. Oh, nope. Just going to be looking to pick up some creatures. Put them in her hands. Oh, there's Mass Vandal. There's 2 Balustrade Spies. Maybe Brian has some sort of graveyard disruption. Perhaps a Tormod's Crypt or something that could possibly play against the combo. Maybe trying to get something with a Dread Return on the stack or something like that. Bolt of Whispers. See, Nicker Wellspring. Gonna cantrip. Oh, and another Wildfire. Just keeping the value going. I believe Garrett has 1 land in play. Yep. Another Ichor Wellspring. Oh, there it is. Now Spellbomb.
Yeah, so it's interesting to note when Spellbomb is in play, this is definitely where the Spy combo shifts into full beatdown mode. Or you can just play through it.
Well, it's possible. Garrett is known to have the Mass Vandal in hand, so it does kind of force Garrett into a position of making Brian have a second copy of a piece of graveyard disruption if he wants to play a more slow game plan and actually try to get rid of the spell bomb before going off.
That's fair. The Mass Vandal is definitely a good way for the spy side of things to play through this graveyard hate on board.
Oh, Writhing Chrysalis. This card, man. This card.
Oh, there's Olympus.
Don't forget your Chrysalis has some counters on it.
Yeah, nice of Garrett to point out his triggers.
I still remember playing against this thing at the MH3 pre-release. Not at all fair. But it's not big enough. Wait, but but it's not big enough to get over that wall. Go on, Rob.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good card in the limited.
Looks like Brian is just churning. Oh, and there's the cast down. Don't need to get over the wall if it's not there. And here you go, Rob. It looks like Brian has adopted the position of trying to control the board. He's got his clock in play. He's got a piece of disruption.
Board control and the land destruction side of things is definitely where the Gen Wildfire deck wants to be.
What kind of ways does he have to? Oh, speaking of Ichor Wellspring, what kind of ways does he have to cash out on these Ichor Wellsprings?
Well, he has a Eviscerator's Insight, and he also has Fanatical Offering. Fanatical Offering would allow him to sack the Wellspring, to draw 2 cards, draw a 3rd card, and then generate a map token. 2 mana, draw 3. I don't know about you, Spencer, but that's pretty good value to me.
Oh, and here's the Mass Mandal line of getting rid of the Spell Bomb. Funnily enough, Spell Bomb I think could have disrupted the Mass Vandal trigger, but it's all the same either way. Oh, and here we go. Offering.
There's that 2 mana, draw 3.
And I believe, is that a treasure token or a blood token?
That is a map token, Spencer.
That is a map token. My mistake.
Well, face down card.
Tokens can be any objects. Rather than Chrysalis getting across the line again. Garrett not interested in chumping with any of his creatures just yet. Oh, there we go. See land grant. What a hand. Okay, looks like a Dread Return is in fact in hand. A Troll, 2 Balustrade Spies. So it looks like a few combo pieces in hand. Looks like 1 card we can't really get a good look at right now. And 2 Balustrade Spies. I don't believe Garrett has removed all the lands out of his deck yet. So those Balustrade Spies are not guaranteed to flip over the entire deck. But if he does decide to cast one of those, it could enable the Lawless Troll in his hand to actually have a more impactful ETB trigger when it enters.
That's a fair point. And yeah, there's 4 base hits inside of the Spy combo deck. Doesn't look like he has all of them in play yet.
Oh, but we might be working towards maybe not. Garrett might be considering these lines himself right now. Another cast down. All right, now we're going to go get that basic out of our deck.
Oh, that's another good way to get base hits out of your deck. Segu Wildling.
Casting the Omen. Oh, getting the Swamp. 2 swamps. Oh, 2 swamps, Rob. What could that mean?
That triggers in me that he's about to cast some Spy, or he might hard cast that Lotlip Giant.
Yeah, but I don't think Spy plays 2 swamps in the main, do they? I think that was a swamp that was boarded in.
That might be. It does look like it was the second swamp boarded in. They typically play 3 forests, 1 swamp main deck. That's pretty heads up by Garrett. Board in that additional land where the Wildfire deck could take the Ponza route.
I think it might have more to do with the actual win condition maybe changing here. But I could also see just having a fifth land in play against some of these Wildfire decks, or even against something playing a card like Stone Rain or something of that variety. Could be useful, especially with just how hard you get punished by them. There's a troll looking for a humble 1 point of damage. Tim grew up and then became a giant zombie. Brian also gaining the monarchy last turn.
The Monarchy is relevant for additional cards that maintain his control route.
Could become tough if Garrett just deploys a bunch of 1/1s. It's pretty tough to block all those.
Yeah, I mean, the Writhing Chrysalis can definitely push in for damage and block in the sky, but really wants to push damage here.
But it doesn't even matter because we're just drawing cards. We're drawing removal. The engine is humming. We're off to the races. Oh, a familiar coming down. I'm going to ask Garrett to pitch a card from hand. Was that the swamp going to the bin, or is that a dread return?
I did not see.
Okay, looks like Garrett is in chump block mode. Taking one. Nile Spellbomb at the ready. The shields are not going down.
Yeah, there's a lot of mana available for Brian here.
Oh, but Mass Vandal might clear the way here. Brian cashing in the Nile Spellbomb.
Drawing a card.
Getting the cards that remain. Oh, and then the Spy. Garrett proceeds to flip over his deck. Ooh, wait a minute. Shields down. No, sir. Exile the troll from the yard. Please, in response. It looks like Garrett may have been got. Yep. And it looks like Garrett, with no deck remaining, is simply going to say, touche. Let's go to game 3.
Yeah, that Heritage Reclamation at the end, really strong.
Really, really hard for Garrett's deck to play around. I imagine Mesmeric Fiend would be the only real way to answer something like that.
Turn 1 land grant.
Speaking of Mesmeric Fiend, looks like this hand has everything he needs. Wait, hold on. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, Rob?
I'm seeing a Haunted Misery in his hand. I like that card.
Perhaps that could explain the double swamp.
It would indeed. That is definitely a good reason to decide in an additional swamp to pay for that double black cost.
Haunted Misery certainly gets around a lot of the graveyard hate in this format, given that it exiles as a part of the cost of casting it, meaning that you get to effectively do your Lothwolf Troll trigger without actually needing to target anything in the yard or leave an opportunity for someone to activate something like a Tormod's Crypt or now a Spellbomb in response to you doing your combo.
Yeah, I definitely like the Haunted Misery with artifact graveyard hate in play.
Brian just leading on a tapped artifact land. Garrett deploying a wall. Off that wall, Korean Ranger. Acre Wall Spring, turn 2. Seems good. Gatecreeper Vine, gonna get another basic out of Garrett's deck, getting us closer to our combo turn. No creature in the graveyard yet for Mass Vandal to be able to get rid of that land. But I think we're probably going to see something like that take place this game.
Yeah, I mean, this Shun Wildfire deck, it gets to a pretty slow start, but once it kind of develops its board presence and draws its cards and ramps and does its thing, the deck has a lot of play to it. I enjoy it.
Oh, and the Shaman's going to go, being the one card that can clear multiple cards on Garrett's board, and also serving as a sack outlet for that Ichor Wellspring. Probably going to see the Swamp hit play here. There it is. Still no creature in the yard for Mass Vandal to get rid of this Nile Spellbomb. But that card we were discussing previously, it doesn't really care for Nile Spellbomb all that much.
It certainly does not.
Okay, coming across the line for 2. Now Spellbomb notably does not block.
It does if you enchant artifact.
It doesn't block either. I would be attacking with it.
Be kind of crazy if the Shun Wildfire deck could enchant their artifact, though.
Believe me, the big pair of scissors is not for my protection. Did I miss a creature hitting the yard for that Mass Vandal?
Don't believe so. Maybe he's playing it as a creature to push damage.
Well, the land is gone. So it did something. Looks like Garrett spell bomb just to draw cards. Keep digging. Coming across for 3. Looking to put some more creatures in her hand. All right, looks like we found 1 power that can swing. But it seems like to me, Garrett is playing more towards potentially going off with his combo line rather than just taking the beatdown route.
Yeah, he does not seem to be in beatdown mode to me. This screams find it on my base hits.
And well, when your opponent's on 1 land, you certainly find a way to win the game no matter what. Oh, and it looks like Brian is just going to pack it up. He's going to say, you know what? I don't have any lands. GG's, Mass Vandal. You got me.